So we'll be starting off with making the marinade for the chicken, right? We'll use some yogurt. We'll add a couple scoops of yogurt. Not too much, but not too little as well. Less little. So the yogurt is there. That's the main base of the marinade. Very classic of Indian cooking. So I'll be just adding some flavors in: salt, sugar. Black pepper, very standard. Now if I had some lime, I would be adding some lime to this, but I don't. If I had some mayonnaise, I would be adding some mayonnaise to this. I don't. Instead I'm adding oil. Just a tiny amount, very like just a splash, and then mix it. The idea is to smoothen it out, right? And you want everything to be mixed together. Now, you may already be aware, but essentially yogurt is a good marinade because it has lactic acid. The acid breaks down the protein in chicken or any meat for that matter, and yeah, that's good for the texture, especially if you're using it in a curry. To start off with, I will be adding some spices. Now go with whatever spice mix you really think. I'll be adding a bunch, but yeah, keep the spice mix. That's your secret spice, you know, like that's your thing. So you add some, I'm adding some coriander, cumin, just a touch of turmeric. Now turmeric has some good digestive properties, antibacterial, if I'm not wrong. Dash of chili powder, you have to, you know, just add a bit. So this is the step where you're adding all flavors, right? Just adding flavors to the thing. This is called fenugreek in, I think, our language, but in one of the Indian languages. Fenugreek means coming from Greece, or fenu coming from and Greek. So traditionally this is not originally from India, it came from Greece, it's imported from Greece. But we started using it in our cooking. It has a really good earthy flavor. The reason I'm crushing it like this is to release some of the oils in the crushing process, the heat that it generates, the friction that helps to release some of that oil, and you need to allow the spices to release some of that oil for that extra kick of flavor. So that this goes. Now again, some lime or lemon at this stage, perfect. I don't have it sadly. So, and now this garam masala, again, like use any blend of, again, like spice mix, it's up to you, but this is what I'm using. So spice mix is up to you. Just this salt, pepper, sugar, this try to maintain, because those three are like main flavor profiles, you know, saltiness, sugar, heat, and then lime, sour, and which is somewhat saved by the yogurt tartness of the yogurt, but some lime brings some freshness. That's why I like it. But yeah, if you don't have it, you don't have it, you know. So that's it. So again, yeah, I'm mixing the yogurt, making sure it's a smooth texture, not everything is mixed together properly in the marinade. Now this last step might surprise some people. Using chickpea flour. chickpeas, as you know, are very rich in protein. So there are three reasons why I use it. It's a traditional ingredient. Honestly, it's used in a lot of fried food back home in India. So most of the fried stuff, not all, but most of the fried stuff uses batter made up of chickpea flour. It when fried, it's nutty, crunchy. It's a good taste. Again, like over here, I'm adding it for that extra crunchiness, that extra nutty profile, and an extra scoop of protein. Yeah. And add another spice mix. Again, as I keep saying, the spice mix, other than the salt, sugar, black pepper, it's up to you. But what I will be adding is this is like a spice mix you can just get ready-made from the market. Ideally, there would be a time when I don't have to use it, but right now it's just like a quick way to get an extra boost of flavor, so to say. Let's see. Let's get this done. Let's get this done. Okay, so the marinade is more or less done. We can let it rest, so to speak. We'll start working on the chicken now. So I'm using 8 thigh pieces for this. I like thigh pieces because they're like the juiciest, most flavorsome profile in chicken. Just has some really good quality meat. I just like to give my chicken a quick wash before the set. So we'll be just slicing it into chunks, 2 chunks. The reason we are slicing into two chunks is we don't want it into 2 small pieces, right? Like too much small pieces, because because thigh, as I said, is a delicate part of the chicken, so you don't want to overcook it too much. And if the pieces are too small, it will just dissolve when cooking, and so that brings me to what I'm actually making today, which is simply said baked chicken, you know. And if you're making baked chicken, you want the chicken to be prominent. You don't want to be looking for the chicken, so which is why we keep the pieces a decent size, not too small, not humongous. So we're almost done. The chicken. Nice. Okay. Now I'll wash it up again, just final time before pouring it back into the marinade. By the way, when you're washing chicken, make sure to use cold water. Never use hot water to wash chicken, or at least room temperature water. Don't use hot water. You don't want to start cooking the chicken. But yeah, the chicken goes in the marinade. Right now, again, this next step you don't really have to do if you don't want to, but As I like to say, flavor at every step. So we'll add some of those spices again bit by bit. So starting with the very basic salt, pepper, sugar. These three always goes in. Whenever you're adding flavor, these three always goes in. Now we need to add some ginger garlic paste. We forgot to add that in the marinade, so we'll be adding it right now. The spoon is already in the marinade. We don't want cross contamination, so what we'll do is innovate. We got some ginger garlic paste in there. Nice. Okay, now back to adding some of these spices again. Now is like a light spattering. We already have them. It's just coating the chicken pieces themselves with flavor. Again, some lime at the spot. Lime again has citric acid, which would again help with the softening of the fibers. Plus, again, it's just like a burst of flavor. It's a fresh flavor profile that livens up a lot of dishes. So this is mostly done. Added the ginger garlic. I think we're good with the spices. We'll just mix it quickly. Now, this may not be looking the prettiest, but the smell, I'm already hungry. Yeah. Now, ideally, you would be leaving this for a couple hours at least, but I guess not today. Today, we are working on getting it done in half an hour, so we'll leave it here for, let's say, 10 minutes, right? Yes, just let it soak in a bit, and then we'll come back later and start working on getting it ready for the baking process. In the meantime, let's get back to the coding stuff. This brings us to the actual endeavor of this purpose of today's activity, which is to demonstrate how we can actually delegate tasks to AI to increase our productivity. Now over here, I'll be delegating a task to Cursor AI to build a Next.js application to instantiate individual timer instances for individual cooking steps while I cook my baked chicken. And the idea is, like, as I get my meal cooked, on the side I'll be working with Cursor AI to get my code ready as well. In this one, I'm giving Cursor AI a lot of free rein, but ideally you would have a very detailed process in place. But even then, if you see the video, follow the video along, you will see that I'm making sure it has a good direction to follow. It comes up with its own steps. It comes up with a proper folder directory, which I review, and only then I allow it to go start going for the next steps. So now, as you can see, currently it is chunking out some code, and I'm just reviewing it, just not really focusing on the functionality part right now, but more so just making sure that there is nothing crazy that's been created. So again, like, you need to be the decision maker. That's the dynamic between an LLM or an AI agent and a human user, right? Like, you have to be the decision maker. You have to give direction to the AI agent to make sure which it can follow and then give you results. But if you leave the decision making process to the AI agent as well, then it will start doing unnecessary steps and often not follow good coding practices. So you have to give it that direction. Anyways, we'll pause here for now. My chicken marination should be almost over, and the server looks ready. Okay, it's time to add the chicken into the oven. That's the chicken right there. I'll get the oven doors. Oven has been heating up. So here it goes. It's a bit complicated doing this with one hand, but we will get there. And that's it. It is in. It goes back in. And it's at 300 degrees at the moment, 375-ish. Yeah. Okay, back to the coding part. We had seen that the server had started last we checked, but then when I tried to hit it using the Chrome, it gave an error. But then I fed that error into Cursor AI and it was able to resolve it, and now we are on a working platform. However, I had an issue with the platform. I thought that the font was too light for it to be readable, so that's what I told Cursor, and I've been suggested it to improve the font color, and that's what it is essentially doing here. So yeah, essentially we are not really focusing on getting to the bottom of each and every bug. We don't have time to spend on that. We are cooking. Instead, we are delegating that task, that bug solving task, to Cursor at the moment, and that's how we are saving time. In some cases, yeah, we are giving it some more direction, some more added depth, some more added context, like when we told it to use a better font color, right? And but for the most part, since we are cooking at the moment, we're just letting Cursor take care of the things at the moment. So yeah, back to the flipping part. We're just giving it a quick flip halfway through the baking process. So it has been there for 10 minutes. It's back there for 10 minutes, and again in the following 10 minutes, the product was mostly working by then. All the bugs were resolved, and now we can see that there is a working platform. The report can be generated, exported out as a PDF, and all is good. So basically, we were able to achieve what we set out to do. Working application with most bugs resolved even before we finish cooking. It may not be completely production ready, but definitely good for a starting point. The chicken has been resting for some time now. I took it out like 2-3 minutes up from the oven, so I think it's good to be moved from the tray into like container. Basically, so essentially I'm making it like a meal prep kind of thing. So for the next few days I have chicken made. Now for the meal prep stuff, this is good. So this is how it goes into the fridge. But before having it, rather than having it just as it is, I'll show you one final step that I like to do. Yeah, before having it. In the meantime, just give me a second while I get this done. Right, now time for the last step. It's essentially just frying the baked pieces of chicken quickly. Make sure the pan is more or less hot. The oil hits up before adding the chicken. I'm doing this to take advantage of the chickpea flour we added to give it that extra crunchiness, that extra crispiness, so like a crispy exterior, soft interior. We'll just spread the oil a bit. Leave it there for a couple minutes. Alright, this is mostly done now. So as you can see, frying just gave it that extra bit of crunchiness, crispiness on both sides. So really juicy, soft chicken, and then coated in a crispy, crunchy goodness. Right? This is almost done. I'll just take this off there. Nice. Now finally, we'll not let all that flavor go to waste. We'll soak it up in some pita breads. Now again, like you can use any bread for that matter. You can use it like with plain white rice, whatever you want, but I had pita bread, I wanted some pita bread, so here we are. Okay, it is ready now. It's piping hot. This is the chicken, So I'll just show you how soft it is. Just literally, I can't touch it because it's like super hot, but yeah, essentially you can just tear it apart, fall off the bones kind of softness, and then yeah, just use a small piece of pita. It is super hot. I should probably give it a few minutes, but I'm also so hungry, and it smells and looks amazing. Here you go. Very good. I like it.